I'm on my way to see Roman now, and I have all of my questions prepared that I'm going to be asking her, and I'm so excited and I'm looking forward to seeing her. Roman Lillie is a travel vlogger on YouTube, and I'll be giving her link in the description box below. Her witty and her overall attractive style of interviewing people, discussing various interesting topics, have gained her a lot of followers in a short span of time. In my video, it is she who is going to be interviewed by me, asking her for tips and all that it takes to produce quality content on this platform. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Shalini in France. Today I'm very excited because I'm with Roman Lillie, and she's a travel vlogger and she's made several videos on YouTube. Nice to have you here with me.
Thank you, nice to be here.
The most popular video that you have managed to have with a lot of views of 252,000 views was Western Women and Indian Men. This was something that we were kind of talking about.
Yeah, it's funny, but when I filmed that video, I didn't know it was going to be so popular.
Okay.
That's usually how it is, but I was traveling around India and I was seeing a lot of it, and I was seeing a lot of Indian guys wanting to date these Western women, and I was like, I need to do a video on this. YouTube is tricky with trying to plan for popularity. It's difficult. You never know. I never know what's going to be popular and what's not. Actually, my two most popular videos were a complete surprise to me.
Oh, really? Okay.
I didn't think my second most popular video is about being black in Paris. I didn't expect that to be so popular either. But yeah, so for both of them, it really just kind of happened. But I think it's cool because it shows that if you just observe things around you and then talk about it or make videos about it, some of it resonates, some of it doesn't. So it's hard to know what's gonna.
It's also a journey of knowing how to improve yourself. Like for instance, I see a lot of new YouTubers. They are continuously making the same mistakes in most of their videos. Like for instance, I saw the other day there was somebody whose her videos are all about cooking, but unfortunately her video is shaking too much. And so
does she have a lot of subscribers?
No. No.
Okay.
So when I look back into my previous videos, I'm very self-critical.
Okay, but I'm gonna pause right there for a second. I don't think as a new YouTuber you should be too critical.
Okay.
Because I've seen, and I asked if she had a lot of subscribers, because I've seen videos of YouTubers that have 100,000 subscribers and their video is shaky.
Okay.
And I don't think it looks very good, and they're doing very well.
Okay.
And I've seen this, and listen, there are also, of course, YouTubers that are very successful, and their videos look like movies. They look like
very professional.
They look very professional. So that exists too, but you don't have to hold yourself to a really high standard.
Okay.
I think when you're starting out as a YouTuber, I would say do your best, whatever that is, but don't be perfect, because if you're always trying to be perfect, you will not make any videos. It'll take you a month to make one video, and that is not.
That's true.
It's just not going to work. You're not going to get the views. You're not going to get the subscriber base.
So you started making your videos officially 11 years ago.
Not really.
Yeah, not really.
So the truth is, I started my channel 11 years ago, but at the time I was a TV news reporter, and I was uploading videos to show my mom.
Oh.
Because my hometown is very different than where I was working as a reporter. So if you go back to my earliest videos, it's like TV news stuff.
But do you think that your profession of working as a reporter, it makes it much easier for you now as a YouTuber? Because you don't have to face the stress of talking to a camera. But if I were to be on my own, I would never know how to talk to an object, and a camera.
I do think being a news reporter helped. But I think as a kid, I was just naturally sort of a ham in a way, I just didn't mind being like this at times. But yeah, it's helpful to have any sort of news background. But listen, there are plenty of YouTubers out here. They had no background in news. They are looking amazing, doing amazing. So I think whatever people need to do to get some sort of a comfort in front of the camera is important. So
Yeah.
whether it's just making YouTube videos, whether you worked in the news, like any of those things can help you, but definitely not required, obviously.
Did you have to think a lot, like these are the questions I'm going to ask, or this is the way how I'm going to do my editing for my travel vlogs?
So I think it's really, there's no right or wrong way. It's personality. So my personality leans a little bit organized and a little bit lazy.
Okay.
If I'm being honest,
Okay.
right? Meaning that, if I was writing a paper in school, I wrote it at the last minute.
Okay.
Like I was just not that student who's going to start, a month early for a paper that's due in a month. You wait until the night before. That's when I'm going to get started.
All right.
So some of that does bleed into my YouTube channel. So I do not write questions out or things like that in advance.
Mm-hmm.
Also because I like my videos to feel natural. Mm-hmm. So like if I'm interviewing someone, I'll have a general idea like, okay, I want to talk about Paris and what it's like to be an immigrant in Paris. Maybe like that's just the direction. Mm-hmm. But I don't really have specific questions.
Okay.
But if you're not a person that likes to think on your feet necessarily, don't do that strategy.
Absolutely.
Because then you'll be there like, so. Right, which is awkward. So I don't plan, but at the same time, I do plan some things in advance.
Okay.
For example, I'm working on a video right now that's about pickpockets in Paris. So that I thought about. I was like, okay, what tips am I going to give people? Because these pickpockets are crazy.
Yeah.
In Paris, by
yes.
the way.
Terrible.
So
I hope you didn't have any bad, incidents.
no, I didn't, because I'm on it. Like I traveled through India, through Thailand, through Nepal. Like I'm not getting robbed. Like
Yeah.
if you're gonna rob me, like you have to be really on top of it and target me. See, I've said that now. I'm probably gonna get robbed. But so I take a lot of care with that. But so I thought about that in advance. I was like, what are my 5 tips? I wrote them out and then made a video on it. So it's really kind of a balance. So I guess for interviews, I do the least amount of prep.
Okay.
But of course, if I'm giving tips, I want to think about it and make sure I'm giving value. So that I don't want to ever do clickbait where I say I'm going to give someone tips and then I'm just like, yeah, so like you totally don't want to get robbed. So like you should like try not to. Like it's not helpful if I had to.
In fact, many of your videos, I found them to be very informative. So, and I think that's very important, and that's something that I try to be as well in my videos, to be able to give as much information, so that later on I don't have to think when I look back at the video, oh, I forgot to give this important thing.
But if you do, by the way, you can just do a part 2 video. So like you don't have to think of it as a problem. You know, it's like, I forgot this one part. Part 2.
All right.
So take the pressure off, because I think, as a new YouTuber, it can be easy to obsess and to worry, like, am I making a mistake? But I personally think that as a new YouTuber, what you need to do is to be creating content. And it's really hard to create a lot of content and be really perfect all the time.
Yeah.
I say this, by the way, to you out loud, because I have to say it to myself all the time. Like, if you follow me on Instagram, by the way, you probably don't follow me on Instagram because I hardly ever post. Because with Instagram, I'm like a perfectionist. I'm like, oh, but what am I going to say? Well, the picture has to be so perfect. And I'm trying to get over it. So, like, I'm now starting to post on Instagram more regularly. But it's like with Instagram, with YouTube, you just have to be yourself and do your best. And, like, that's it.
Okay.
For me.
All right, that's a good tip. Do you want to say anything about YouTubers have to invest maybe in more fancy camera gear?
So I'm actually planning a video about it. So I'm so excited to eventually do the video where I'm going to show like 2 different tiers of things that people can invest in. But my general answer is no. No. New YouTubers should not be spending more than like, I think when I was starting my channel, I did not spend more than like $150.
Okay, all right. Because
Maybe
I mean,
100.
For instance, for me, when I make my videos, I needed to get a special microphone.
No, you don't.
No. Okay.
See, this is what I'm saying. People tell you this because if you watch these videos of these YouTubers, okay, here's the truth. Most of these YouTubers are getting a cut. So when they're selling you this equipment, right, they're linking to their Amazon affiliate page.
Yes.
They would much rather sell you something that's expensive versus cheap because then they get a percentage.
Yes.
So do you want a percentage of $1,000 or do you want a percentage of $10? So the truth is you don't need, like, I interviewed you. No camera, no microphone.
Yeah.
Because the phones have built-in cameras.
Yeah.
You don't need anything fancy. Like as you grow, yes, you can upgrade and buy a special mic and buy special lighting and buy like this fancy. Now I have a fancy stabilizer that I love. But like that, I got that after like 5,000 subscribers. I hate to see people who can't afford it. Now, by the way, if you can afford it, there's nothing wrong with buying a fancy mic. And buying fancy camera. But for people who can't afford it, where it's a burden, like you don't need to. I started with just my iPhone 6.
Yeah,
That
that's
was
wonderful.
it.
Yeah, I really thought that I'm going to be meeting Roman, and she made her own video with me, and I thought maybe she's going to have like lapel microphones, and I was like, yeah, I need to look into all her gadgets and get inspired. I'm like, oh, there's nothing. There's just a phone camera.
Yeah, it's a phone because these phones right now, they can do so much. There's no need because it's like the more complicated you make your shooting, the more complicated you make your life.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you very much, Roman, for the time that you've given me for this interview. I'm
Absolutely.
going to link down below her YouTube channel so you can have a look as well. And I'll see you again later. See you. Bye-bye.
Bye.